I have to go.
No, don't leave us.
I must.
The dust rose in heavy clouds beneath the restless boots of men gathered in the center of Red Hollow, a forgotten frontier town where desperation was currency and mercy had long been buried beneath the dry, cracked earth. The sun burned mercilessly overhead, casting sharp shadows across hardened faces that had learned to survive without compassion. On the wooden auction platform stood a trembling pregnant widow, her fragile frame wrapped in a torn, faded dress that told the story of countless struggles. Her hands were bound loosely in front of her, though she made no attempt to escape, not because she accepted her fate, but because she had nowhere left to run. Whispers moved through the crowd like wildfire. Some spoke of her beauty despite the dirt smudged across her cheeks. Others mocked her condition, her swollen belly a mark of burden rather than blessing in this cruel land. To them, she was not a woman with a story, a past, or a future. She was property to be claimed, a life measured by coins and convenience. The auctioneer's voice rang out sharply, slicing through the dry air. A strong woman, capable of work, and soon to bear a child. Who will start the bidding? A few men chuckled darkly. Offers were thrown casually, carelessly, as though they were wagering on livestock. The widow stood motionless, her eyes scanning the crowd with a quiet storm behind them, fear, yes, but also defiance. She had endured loss beyond measure. Her husband, once a kind rancher, had been gunned down by outlaws who later seized everything she owned. Debt followed, then hunger, then capture. And now she stood here, a prize for the highest bidder. Among the onlookers stood a lone cowboy, silent and unmoving at the edge of the crowd. His weathered hat shadowed eyes that had seen too much of the world's cruelty. His name was Cole Turner, a man known throughout the frontier for his solitary nature and unwavering resolve. He had no family, no ranch, no roots, only a horse, a revolver, and a reputation shaped by actions rather than words. Cole had not come to Red Hollow seeking trouble. He had ridden in for supplies, intending to leave before sunset. But fate had other plans. When his gaze met the widow's, something stirred within him, not pity, but recognition. He saw a strength hidden beneath her exhaustion, a fire refusing to be extinguished. The crowd saw weakness, Cole saw survival. The bidding continued, climbing slowly, greed flickering in hardened eyes. A wealthy rancher raised the price with a cruel smile, clearly amused by the spectacle. The widow's shoulders stiffened, and for the first time, fear visibly touched her expression. That was when Cole stepped forward. "I'll take her." His voice was calm, steady, yet it carried a weight that silenced the murmuring crowd. Heads turned. The auctioneer paused, surprised by the sudden interruption. Cole named a price higher than any offered before. The rancher scoffed but did not challenge him. A few moments later, the hammer struck wood, sealing the widow's fate. The ropes around her wrists were removed, and she stumbled slightly as she stepped down from the platform. Cole approached, his expression unreadable, and offered his hand. She hesitated before accepting it, her touch trembling yet firm. As he led her away from the crowd, she leaned close and whispered, her voice cold despite her fragile appearance. "You'll regret this." Cole did not respond immediately. Instead, he guided her gently toward the edge of town where his horse waited. Only after a long silence did he speak. "I don't regret helping people," he said quietly. Her eyes hardened. "You didn't help me. You bought me." Those words lingered between them like a challenge. They rode together into the vast open plains, the town. Shrinking behind them, the wind carried the scent of dry grass and distant storms, and for miles neither spoke. The widow's name, Cole would soon learn, was Eliza Hart, a woman shaped by loss but not broken by it. Eliza watched him carefully during their journey. She expected cruelty, ownership, control, the familiar patterns of men who believed power granted them rights over others. Yet Cole treated her differently. He ensured she was comfortable, offered water before taking any himself, and slowed their pace when her condition caused fatigue. Still, she did not trust him. Trust had been the first thing stolen from her when her husband died. Days passed before they reached Cole's small, isolated homestead nestled between rolling hills and whispering trees. It was modest but sturdy, built with patient hands and quiet determination. There were no chains, no commands waiting for her, only a simple room prepared for rest and a warm meal cooking over a steady fire. Eliza remained guarded, watching every move, searching for hidden intentions. "Why?" she finally demanded one evening, her voice sharp with suspicion. "Why buy me if not to own me?" Cole met her gaze, unflinching. "Because no one deserves to be sold," she scoffed, but uncertainty flickered in her eyes. Life at the homestead unfolded slowly, like the gentle changing of seasons. Cole asked nothing from her except that she rest and regain strength. He worked tirelessly, repairing fences, tending animals, preparing for the coming winter. His actions spoke of a man seeking redemption rather than control. Yet the shadow of danger was never far behind. Unbeknownst to Cole, powerful men in Red Hollow were angered by his interference. The rancher who had lost the bid had intended to use Eliza for far darker purposes, to secure influence, to settle debts, to assert dominance. Cole's actions had disrupted plans carefully laid in secrecy. One night, as thunder rolled across the horizon, Eliza revealed the truth she had carried in silence. Her husband's death had not been random. He had discovered a criminal network trafficking vulnerable settlers through frontier towns. Before he could expose them, he was murdered, and she became their next target. Her auction had not been about debt. It had been a trap. "They will come for me," she whispered. "And now, they will come for you." Cole listened without fear. Instead, a quiet resolve settled over him. Then they'll find more than they expected. As weeks passed, something unexpected grew between them, not ownership, not obligation, but respect. Eliza began helping around the homestead, her strength returning day by day. Her laughter, once buried beneath grief, slowly resurfaced. Cole, a man long defined by solitude, found warmth in her presence he had never known. But peace on the frontier was fragile. One cold dawn, riders appeared on the horizon, armed men sent to reclaim what they believed was theirs. The confrontation that followed would test not only Cole's courage but Eliza's hidden strength. For when the outlaws demanded her surrender, she stepped forward beside the cowboy who had once purchased her freedom. "I am not property," she declared fiercely. "And I will never belong to you." The battle that erupted was swift and brutal, dust and gunfire tearing through the quiet valley. Cole fought with relentless precision, defending not possession but dignity, not ownership but choice. When the smoke cleared, the attackers retreated, their power shattered. In the silence that followed, Eliza looked at Cole with new understanding. The man she had warned would regret his choice had risked everything without hesitation. "You saved me," she said softly. Cole shook his head. "You saved yourself. I just stood beside you." Months later, beneath a sky painted with sunset gold, Eliza gave birth to a healthy child, a symbol of hope forged from hardship. The small homestead that once echoed with loneliness now carried the sounds of life and promise. And the bond between them, born from conflict and mistrust, transformed into something deeper than either had imagined, a partnership built on courage, respect, and the shared belief that no life should ever be bought or sold. Their story spread quietly across the frontier, inspiring those who had forgotten the meaning of compassion. The lone cowboy who once walked without purpose had found a family, and the widow who once faced despair had reclaimed her future. But their journey had only just begun. Because on the unforgiving frontier, every act of courage writes a legend, and every legend begins with a single choice. If this story moved your heart and you want more powerful frontier tales of courage, love, and redemption, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share this story with others who believe in hope rising even in the harshest lands. Your support helps bring more unforgettable stories to life, and the next chapter may be even more powerful than this one.